The great unwinding has begun. That's what I'm calling this, the great unwinding.
Hi guys, how are you? Mine this one, titanium. I received some messages from a couple people that Mike is talking nonsense again, and about me particularly. And let's hear it real quick. Okay, so let's listen to this bullshit.
1,045 bucks. It's at 1,350 now. That's another thing. I had a guy a year and a half ago. He signed up for
He's
my
talking about
letter.
me now.
He saw my positions in gold, which were underwater at the time. He said, "Oh, Norman, God help you on that. That is such a loser." Who's the loser now? I had another guy, another guy who came on as a subscriber, and I guess he wasn't happy. He went off. He started up some
Oh
cockamamie
wait, this
YouTube
is me.
channel where all he did all day long on every one of his YouTubes was attack me and criticize me. We were short dollar yen at 115. It went up to like, I don't know, 115.70. He said, "You got to stop yourself out." He told all his loser followers on his YouTube site, "Norman's crazy. He doesn't use stops. You got to stop yourself out." He stopped himself out because it went up to 118. Woo! 115 to 118. Woo! Where is it now? It's at 108. Okay, we're still short dollar yen. We're still short. All right?
All right. So, number one, to assert that he held on from 115 all the way down to 107 is to say that I did the opposite. No. Let's look at the chart. He went short. Okay. 115, where is that? In here. You never short anything that goes straight up. That's just simple logic. I mean, that's just simple, basic understanding of charting and technical analysis. Okay? That's number one. Number two. He said that there was going to be inflation because the Fed is a price setter and higher interest rates are inflationary. Okay? And he said that in 2015. Here we are. Where's the inflation? You guys see any inflation here? No. No. There's no inflation in here. This is just ridiculous. Ignore the facts. Don't even look at them. Okay, just forget about them. Just go by what he says. Who gives a shit about the actual data? You see, it's comical. It's comical. Now, if you go on my IMMT page, and I post all the gains that I have, you will see that I was long Great Britain pound, and I was also long euro as well, by the way. Okay, and clearly I made what, 8,800, and that was just one of the two positions that I had. Okay, I was not shorting the dollar because it was going to be inflation. That's nonsense. Shortly thereafter, I sold the remaining amount. Okay, and I said I closed down my positions in Great Britain pound and the euro USD as well. Okay. Unlike Mike, I post how much money I made since the beginning of the year. Right? It's up 49%, very clearly. Now, if you go back to the Mexican peso back in 2016, okay, what they did was they raised rates. The moment they raised rates, what happened to the US dollar versus the Mexican peso? The dollar tanked. Okay? He was long, based on this stupid theory that if you raise rates, it's deflationary for the Mexican peso or any currency. Right? It went from 122 all the way down to 17. Okay? Now, if you're not a forex trader, that is a very, very massive move in this pair. According to his logic, the US dollar should have just soared, just went to the moon, because interest rates were raised by Mexico. But did that happen? No. You see, here's the difference between me and Mike. Mike thinks he can give out trading signals, much of which he doesn't even participate in. He just comes around, runs around, just says, do this, and this, and it's MMT, and the fiscal flows. Okay, ask him to give you a fiscal flow chart that corresponds with the stock market. He will not be able to produce it. Okay, it doesn't correlate. It's just nonsense. But yet, you know, the unsuspecting newbies, they think, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's MMT. Well, it's not. Okay. Now, he charges whatever he charges. I don't know, 150, 100, whatever. Okay. For me, I get donations. Okay. Somebody said, hey, Nick, brother, I just wanted to say thank you again for all your help. Please accept this small gift. Okay. I didn't ask for money. The guy just decided, said, hey, he helped me, here it is. Right? So you see the difference. I don't give signals. I teach people how to read a chart, how to take that information and contrast it with MMT, pure MMT, not this garbage. Oh, it's going to be inflation, man, because they're raising rates. And then you go, you know, because he said he was, you know, claiming inflation since 2015. Well, it's 2018 now. Where's inflation? You see, the data's it's got to match with what he says. If it doesn't match, then it's bullshit. Understand? There's no inflation. There's no inflation. Just like I said almost 2 years ago, there is not going to be inflation. Who had the correct MMT understanding, him or me? You see, you cannot go against the data. Data speaks for itself. So let's take a look at gold. In 2016, gold was $13.50. Okay. In 2015, at the end, it was down here. It was at what is it? 1,050. Okay. After this very big drop. All right. Now let's fast forward to today. What has gold done? Nothing. It's going back and forth. Where's the inflation? Where's oh, buy gold, buy silver, it's going back up. Where is it? There isn't any. Again, you got to look at the data. Now, if you want to cherry pick data and say, well, I bought here, and I bought here, and I bought here. Yeah, that's the same thing as ShiftBots coming back in the day and telling me, yeah, I bought gold at 350. It doesn't pass the smell test. Sorry. Gold today is trading exactly where it traded. Okay. Where is it? Back in 2013. That's just the way it is. Okay. There's no big blowout, price movement in gold. Oh, we're going to the moon. Okay, because we raise interest rates. Before we start talking about the dollar index, the first thing you need to understand, because most of you are newbies and you believe this crap that Mike is babbling, is that 57% of the dollar index is the euro. So what happens to the euro is just as important as what happens to the dollar. At least the euro USD is a 50-50, right? Well, guess what? So is the Dixie. Dixie's even more. It's 57% euro. Think about that. That means you have to analyze two different economies in order to come up with a conclusion as to what the Dixie's going to do. So while all you people are sitting out there saying, oh my God, inflation is coming, inflation, well, fuck, where's the inflation? Since interest rates are going to rise, is inflationary. Where is it? Nowhere. Okay? 2 years. 2 years. No inflation. So why do I use charting? Okay? Which is my style of charting, by the way. Okay? It's very simple. If you have a macroeconomic understanding, it doesn't mean you can just go out and buy. Let's say you say, okay, America is going to be bullish macroeconomically speaking, into the future. What are you going to do? Just go out and start buying just for the fucking sake of it? No, it's not the way it works. Okay, you have your understanding, you have your thesis, and then you have to look for the chart to give you buying opportunities when to buy, and that's where charting comes in. All right. In recent videos, if you go back, you will see that my charting works very well. And if you look at the Bitcoin example, which has nothing to do with macroeconomics, it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. It's nonsense. Okay? What are you going to see? You're going to see that my calls were spot on. Okay? If you go back to December 21st, 2017, I said breakdown. Result could be catastrophic for Bitcoin. Okay? What happened since? It crashed. All right? So you want to say my glorified technical analysis? Not glorified technical analysis. It works. Here's a result. Catastrophe. Boom. Thank you very much. Okay? This is a 50% loss in Bitcoin. So while Mike is sitting there saying, oh, the great unwinding has begun, the great unwinding, and all that bullshit, okay, I was buying China. I was buying the NDX, okay, 23,000 right here. And this is half my position, by the way, because I had 30 total, all right? And this was, I sold a little bit, 1/3, on January 22nd. Okay. Why was Mike wrong and I was right? Because he cannot analyze nothing. You see, Mike can't analyze this. This he cannot analyze. He's got no clue. There's nothing there. Okay? And this is where macroeconomics comes into play. Because if you come back here, right, this is where the great unwinding was, right in here. The great unwinding is coming. Right? And then the blow off top is coming. Remember that? Wrong and wrong. Why don't we take a look? From his great unwinding, he's down, oops, let me change that for you. Alright, got it now. So from his great unwinding, he's down, I don't know, 22%, 20%. And then from his great blow-off top, because he's been around the business long enough, 40 years, he's going to tell you how it is, he's down another 10%. But you know what the good thing is? The good thing is he's practicing mental game. You know what mental game means? That you fucked up, you cannot accept responsibility for your actions. You don't use stop losses because you're all profits, right? And you've blown yourself out. He's got to be down $100,000 if he actually did take the trades. Okay, $100,000 on that amount, on these two trades. So why didn't Mike, his little fiscal flows, okay, why didn't they tell him this was coming? Why didn't he see this coming? Because he doesn't understand MMT, he doesn't understand investing. Okay, you can't take these kind of fucking losses and say, well, it's mental game, I'm tough, you know, eventually one day I'll be right. No, sorry. Fiscal flows are going negative, we're going into recession, or bank credit is falling, oh, we're going into recession, and what happened? The complete opposite. We've accelerated to the upside. Okay, you don't get to use the R word every single day at will, and then hopefully one day you might get it right just out of fucking, you know, luck, and then say, see, I told you. That is Peter Schiff bullshit. Shotgun prediction, stick to what works, and then give a cute little story about it and say, oh look, I was right. Go back to January 15th of this year, okay, and you'll see I was long NDX. Okay, how many people came out and told me, oh, you know, it's too high to buy, it's too high? Yeah, that's because you don't understand what's going on in the markets. You have no clue, right? I took 1/3 off NDX QQQ. See it? You want to ding me, Mike? You ding me on what should be dinged. That I didn't go long the stock market in here. Okay? Ding me for that. Yeah. I thought we had one more down and then back up. Didn't happen. Alright. So what? I made a mistake. Does that mean I went short? No. Of course not. You know what that means? It means that I needed more evidence. I needed to see what was going to happen in the market. Okay? And I like in this phase of the market, okay, when it's in the final stage up, I like to see 3 to 5% pullbacks. So what does that mean? This is a chart showing that every time the S&P made a new high, okay, it made a pullback. It made 5% here, 5% here, 7% here, 12% here, 14% here. Okay, this is normal. This is not normal. Okay, so if I don't get that 3-5% pullback, right, where I can add to it, because I know the market is going higher, then I'm not going to buy. That's my strategy. Okay. Eventually, when I start seeing the evidence come in of what was going to happen in the economy, then I started to go long because I had more data. I started to understand what was going on a macro level, which I'm not even going to explain here. It'll take too long. So then I went long. Along the way going up, there were opportunities where I could take shorts. I took them. Did I lose? Nope. Didn't lose. Made money, actually. Shorting this. Okay, shorting this. To do that, you have to have skill. You can't just, come up with some cute story and, higher rates are inflationary, and then go out and just do whatever it is you're going to do. Sorry. It doesn't work like that. Or run around and say, taxes don't fund spending. Really? Why'd the government just shut down? You see, you don't understand MMT, brother. I mean, you got a good idea of it. 70%, 75%. Right? But you don't understand it. Don't pretend you do. And don't pretend that you're the only one that applies MMT to the real world. Right? You don't. You're not the only one. In fact, I was the first to start QMMT, quantifying modern monetary theory. Okay? And I started a portfolio to show the world how to apply real MMT to the real world. And that was back on October 18th, 2015. Right in here. Okay? Now, on February 11th, 2016, right in here, okay, is when you started your fiscal flow bullshit. Which I applauded. I did. And you can see it right down here. I got a blue thumbs up. Man, 100% behind you. I'm with you. To me, nothing could have been better. That we would have somebody who's seasoned, 40 years in the market, who understands MMT, that's going to come in and is going to teach us all how to do things. You failed. And the moment I started spotting your bullshit, and I'm like, I don't have a problem disagreeing. I think that's healthy. Disagreeing is a good thing. That's how you learn. We all learn, right? And we're still all learning. And I hope you're learning from this video. But the moment you start coming up with bullshit, where you'll say, okay, I'll buy, and then I'll protect myself by saying, hey, you're a pussy, or, a zombie, or whatever, or nibbler, or whatever the hell you are, and you just have to have mental game, buy, hope, and then hopefully you'll make a profit one day. Okay? When you start that nonsense, then no, sorry. It doesn't work like that. Okay? Taxes don't fund spending. Government spending. Bullshit. The fiscal flows are showing a recession. 3 times now. Where's the recession? None. Let's go back to March 15th, 2017. Look, save the tape, bro. Save the tape, brother. Okay? Save the tape. It's you talking, not me. I didn't tell you to say this shit. Right? Let's listen to it.
This is the great unwinding.
Oh, here we go.
Now, let me throw something else in here. And it's something I've been talking about in the past. Institutional asset managers. They are long this market out the wazoo. They own 700,000 net long S&P futures contracts. That's net. That's longs minus shorts. If you're just looking at their longs, they got almost 1.5 million contracts long.
Okay. So you see, again, what did the market do? Right? It shot up right up in his face. Because he's the only one that applies MMT to the real world and investing. Bullshit. Bullshit. You're just fucking riding my coattails and trying to keep up, man. That's all you're doing. You're lost. You're lost. And you know what I charge? $5 a month. Yep, $5 a month. On patreon.com/mind this one. It's actually less than 5% of your little scam going on over there. With your mental game, Bruce Lee, SEAL, Navy SEAL bullshit. Let me tell you about that. Let's talk about that. Number one, I don't have a problem if you don't have positions. Okay? But you gotta be right. And if you're not right, again, not a problem. Nobody can tell what the future is gonna bring. Nuclear bomb can go off in Oklahoma tomorrow. Okay? It's not a problem to be wrong. The problem is when you don't accept responsibility for what you're talking about, and you keep pounding it and pretending that you're right and that you called it when you didn't. When you pretend that your fiscal flows have some kind of correlation, it's going to tell you you've used recession 3 times and the market has shot up right in your face. Okay? Right up in your face. But you're going to go out and tell them, oh, I made this much in oil and I made this much in Forex. Yeah, let's leave that other part alone. The part where you're down 100 grand more. Okay, shorting the S&P 500 because you won't sell, right? Because you're all profits. You're Mr. Profit. It is a fundamental flaw in your understanding of MMT, macroeconomics, and how that applies into the real world. You cannot be down 20% in the stock market. Use the R word, recession, 3 times. Okay? And say you're the only one that applies real MMT or whatever the hell you say. You can't do it. Sorry. You lose. And by the way, I was offering my stuff for free, dude. Okay? The reason I charge $5 is because I want to keep the trolls out and I don't want people to come down taking down my channel because they don't like it. They don't like when I sit here and I call out the bullshit. The Peter Schiffs of the world, the Mike Normans of the world, the Steve Grumbine, Sniffles, and the real progressive bullshit. People don't like that. I'm supposed to get with the program, you know. Just follow along. Hey, you know, we all circle jerk each other, fool people. No, it's not what I do. It's not what I've done for almost a decade now. If I spot bullshit, I call it. And you, my friend, are full of it. Full of it. Sitting here talking nonsense about me. You don't get to talk nonsense about me. You don't know what I do. Okay? Come subscribe. I'll be more than happy to teach you. More than happy. Okay? Till then, shh. No too much blah blah. You don't got the backing. Okay? The data doesn't support you. You're wrong. So let's talk about the dollar index. Okay? Number one, you go back to 1986. Okay? You had what? You had a down, and then in 92 it went straight up, and then the euro came around, 2000, came back down. Now it's doing what? Going down? No. No. The dollar is going up. This is an uptrend. In case you don't know, because I know you don't understand how to read chart, but this is an uptrend. Okay? Now, in this uptrend, you had a period where you had a normal retracement. Okay? You had it here, you had it here, you have it here, you had some in here. This is normal. This is normal. This is not some great call of yours that, oh, we're raising rates and the dollar's going to fall and we're going to get all this inflation. Buy gold, buy silver. That's just God. You need to learn how to read a chart, brother. You can't come up with thesis and then shotgun stupid predictions and say, oh, look, I'm right. No, you're not. This is an uptrend. Bottom left, top right, uptrend. Okay? Now, when the dollar comes down here, you're going to get 2 scenarios, Mike. Learn from me. Remember, 57% of the dollar index is the euro. Okay, so we care what the euro is going to do because it will greatly affect the dollar index. So, we have a 1, 2, 3 wave down. In an uptrend, that means the bias is still up. Okay? If it does not go up, you will start getting a flag in here. It will start to build pressure either above the trend line or below the trend line. Okay? And if this breaks, then and only then can you sit here and say, oh, the dollar's going to go down. Okay? A normal wave down within a bull channel is not the dollar's falling apart because of higher interest rates. So let's take a look. When did this wave end on the way up? And why? Okay? Right here. When did Trump get elected? Right in here. Okay? December 2016. Why? Because infrastructure. Infrastructure means what? More deficits. Tax cuts means what? More deficits. What does more deficits mean? It means the dollar comes down. Okay? Very simple. It's not complicated. Has nothing to do with interest rates. Okay? In fact, we raised interest rates back here. What did the dollar do? Whoop, up. Why didn't you just short here, Mike? When it was exactly where it's going to be here very shortly, around 88. Based on your logic, this should have been a short. So the dollar should have fell apart. Because higher interest rates are inflationary, right? What happened? Boom, the complete opposite. Okay? It actually went even higher. Data, Mike. Data. You gotta look at the data, bro. Evidence-based economics. Not Mike Norman, oh, I think this is... It's a good theory, MMT. Yeah, I like it. It's gonna do this. No. Sorry. Oh, and let me correct myself. Let me correct myself here. Okay? This led me off. Okay? Why did the dollar come straight up? Why? Why we had this huge thrust up? Because the market was front running interest rate. Okay? This whole move here is the market anticipating an interest rate rise. Okay? This is where they actually, right in here, where they actually raised rates. Came back down, came back up. Trump got elected. Oop, more deficits, boom. Okay? Now it's coming even lower. Why? When did tax cuts take effect? See? Right in here. That's when tax cuts took effect. What happened to the dollar? Boom. Had nothing to do with interest rates rising. Come on now, buddy. Come on now. Let's listen to him again.
There are many things now beneath the surface. And, everybody bought up this market on all this euphoria about tax cuts and infrastructure spending. None of that stuff is happening.
Wrong. Again. Right?
Contracts long. These guys have the worst track record. I said John Bogle, the guy who created Vanguard funds and made himself a billionaire, basically came up with a product that bets against this group. Institutional asset managers who fail year in and year out.
Institutional that failed. I can't help you, Mike, if you're going to be thinking this conspiracy bullshit stuff, man. I can't help you, bro.
Hey, everybody, what's up? I'll tell you what's not up is the stock market. That's because the stock market correction, the long overdue stock market correction has begun.
All right, there we go again. Remember those guys, the institutional guys, they were all idiots? This is November 15th, 2017. Okay. Again, bullshit. Bullshit. He doesn't have a clue. So let's go back to the dollar index. So we said 57. Sorry. So we said the 57% of the dollar index is the euro. So we do care about what the euro does. And also, what drives the dollar down? Well, anytime that you have increased deficits, right? What happened to the dollar? The blue line is deficits, okay, or surpluses in this case. What happens? Dollar goes down. Okay, just the way it is. What happened when the dollar started, deficit started to shrink? Well, dollar went up. All right, just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with interest rates. So here's the dollar index since 1996. Okay, dollar went all the way up. What did inflation do? Between 3 and 1% the entire time. Okay, dollar went up. What happened? Inflation was well within 3%. Dollar went down. What happened to inflation? Well within 3%. Okay, dollar went up again. What happened to inflation? Well within 3%. So where are we getting all this? Oh, you know, buy gold, buy silver. Inflation is coming. Rates are going higher. And nonsense. Nonsense. Consumer price index and PCE and CPI. Look, where is the inflation? 2 years. There's no inflation. Government is a price setter? Really? Well, where the fuck is inflation? Facts. Facts, math, and data, brother. Facts, math, and data. So let's take a look at the US dollar versus the ruble. Okay? What was Russia doing when they were raising, when the ruble was falling apart? They were raising rates, right? So by the logic of Mike Norman, that is going to cause monetary inflation if you raise rates, right? And as much, I think, as 13%, something like that. Okay, and I came out and I said, oh, bullshit. This is, you got rates up at 13%. Okay, this is going to reverse. It's not worth the same as the Bangladesh DACA. Okay, you want to see what happened? Because according to him, it should have just kept going higher and higher the more they raised rates, and then, to infinity. Same thing in the 80s, right? They kept raising rates, so why did the interest rate cause the inflation to come down? It should have increased it, not decreased it. Something happened, right? So the theory is bullshit. But let's take a look at what the USD dollar versus the ruble is doing today. Well, we were right up here. Here's what happened. Kaboom. Wrong. Again. Okay, raising rates strengthened the ruble. All right, it has gained 35%. I don't know what to tell you, brother. So where did Mike come up with this stupid idea that interest rates are inflationary? And it's not just him, by the way. You got other MMTers, theorists that talk this nonsense. Well, if you go back to the 80s, okay, Fed's fund target was all the way up here, and then what happened? Interest rates came down. Okay? So he's saying, well, okay, if that's true, then, it's the interest rates that were causing the inflation here. Right? But if it was interest rates that were causing the inflation, then it should have went up, not down. Not down. So he thinks now that, well, if they're going to raise interest rates, well, the 10-year is going to go up. 10-year yield is going to go up as well. It's the rates that are driving this. No, it's not the rates that are driving this. That's wrong. You're wrong. And the reason you're wrong is because you don't understand how money is flowing. You don't understand the functional economy versus the non-functional economy within the private sector. You don't get that part. Okay? And none of the other academic delicate geniuses get it either. Rates rise when the economy is improving. Okay? When we're near full employment. When people go out and consume. That's when rates rise. That's when people start to expect inflation. Okay? It's not the rates in of themselves that create inflation. It's the economic conditions that create inflation. So when you look at unemployment rate, which is now down to, headline is 4.1%. Okay, we are in the conditions where it is possible we can get inflation. Possible. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Very important to understand. You take a look at the number of jobs that are available versus those who are unemployed. Historical lows. 1.08. Historical. We should be seeing inflation. Unemployed insurance weekly claims. 231. We're reaching levels that we haven't seen since the 60s. Okay, where's the inflation? U6, okay, which is total unemployment. That's it, right? Oh, they're lying about the unemployment, right? 8%. That's lower than it was in 94, okay? I mean, we are reaching levels where we should be seeing inflation. Not because interest rates are rising. Interest rates are preemptively being hiked to prevent inflation. Price stability is the name of the game, my man. Price stability. Okay? You're wrong. Prime age full employment is at full-time employment is at 89%. Okay? We should be seeing inflation. We're not. It's not because of interest rates. I'm going to keep telling you this because you really need to start looking at the data and stop coming up with these cute little stories, okay, and feeding people bullshit and charging them money for it. Look at the damn data, man. Unemployment rate for prime age workforce, 25 to 54, 3.4%. Okay, this is why the Fed has been raising rates, because we're reaching that full employment. All right, and we're still not seeing any inflation. Why? Because the name of the game is price stability. You need to come to terms with that. Percent ratio of initial unemployment claims to the civilian labor force, record low. Record low. This is the data, facts, math. Gotta look at it. Where's your inflation? There isn't. Unemployment rate divided by the labor force participation rate. Okay? 6.5%. Okay, among the lowest in 2 decades. Gotta look at the data. Here's the interest rates. All of them. Since 2016, up, up, up. Doesn't matter. Up, up. No inflation. Still no inflation. Up, up, up. Where's the inflation? Oh, it's coming. Yeah, but you said that 2 years ago, my friend. 2 years ago you said that. Where's the inflation?
Year in and year out to beat the market averages, and I've been saying to you, do you want to bet with those guys? Wait till they start dumping those 700,000 net long futures contracts, which equates to 70 billion. And by the way, again, I'll just mention that's net. That's longs minus shorts. They're long. They got around 1.5 million long futures contract. So
yeah, don't let the facts get in the way of a cute little nice little story, okay, to bullshit people with. Don't let that stand in your way. Just keep babbling cute little stories. Look at the personal savings rate, 3.2%, falling. Okay, it's been falling all through 2016. All that money, they're spending it. Where's inflation? Where's the monetary inflation from all the rate hikes? You fail, brother. You fail miserably. So you want to talk to me now about glorified technical analysis? This is glorified technical analysis? What I told you 2 years ago, that there's not going to be any inflation? You see, you're talking without knowledge, as always. You just babble shit. You know, you're a great TV personality, you know, wind people up, hype them up, sell them bullshit, you know, you're good at that. But macroeconomics, MMT, no. No, you fail. You fail on inflation, you fail on market calls, you fail on calling recessions, fail, fail, fail. You fail in your fiscal flows, fail. And you know what the truth is? Why, you've been saying, oh, I'm the only one that can apply real MMT, applied MMT into the real world. No. The reality is I am the one that applies MMT into the real world and into the investing world. I'm the only one who gets it right, Mike. I was the first to start it, and I'm the only one who gets it right. You get it wrong. So you want to talk about macroeconomics, Mike, and inflation? Unemployment is at 4.1%. Global growth is growing. We got 4.1, and like I said, right? Global growth, everything's going fine. Deficits are increasing. Okay, pumping more money into the functional economy. Okay, now we're going to get probably some kind of infrastructure that's going to add more money into the functional economy. Okay, and we might, under these conditions, might get about 3.5% inflation. Okay, we might get it. And then what? 4%? Okay, let's go to 4%. I doubt it. I doubt it. Okay, it has nothing to do with interest rates. Everybody's working. Prime age workforce, 3.4%. We're getting to that part of the stock market where it's going parabolic. We're going to have a correction. It's going to continue to go up. You know why, Mike? I'll tell you why. Because deficits are increasing. Okay? Deficits are increasing. And they're going to keep increasing for the next decade. So you know what? I'll go with these numbers. Might exceed inflation a little bit more than that. Okay? Might go to 2.5, 2.7 maybe in 2018. But you want to compare China to the U.S., right? 5.8% GDP growth versus 2.2. Might get to hit 3 now with tax cuts and all this infrastructure talk. Inflation 2%, 1.8 in China, maybe 2% in the U.S. All right. Come back in a year. Tell me how right I was. Just like I told people there's going to be global growth back in 2016 when the Baltic Dry Index was at 752. See it, Mike? 752. Want to know where it is today? There it is, Mike. 1,700, bro. 1,700. Can't... you know, just the way it is. So you have global growth kicking ass. You got full employment. You got deficits increasing. You have rates rising. And still you cannot get inflation. And you cannot explain why. You just sit there and talk your game. Keep feeding people Bruce Lee and mental game and SEAL Team 6. And let's talk about that mental game. You see, people, the only time you need to have mental game, okay, is when you know what you're doing. And you're not suffering. See, the little neurons are far off in your head telling you, hey, danger, fear, pain. They're telling you something's not right. Okay? Something is not going right. Gotta listen to that. If, on the other hand, you do understand what you're doing fully, at all times, why are you going to fear? It's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. You don't need mental game. You don't need to be a SEAL. You don't need to go out running in the middle of the, street at 4 o'clock in the morning, 50 below, with icicles hanging off your nipples to be tough. Nobody's tough. Tough is stupid. People see other people as tough because they're not able to do what they do. Okay? That's why you think they're tough. But to them, it's not toughness. It just is. You get on my airplane, I'm going into some airport to land, right? Full airplane, wind shear, the whole 9 yards, right? I go in, I land. You think I'm fearing? No, I've done this a million times. To you, because you don't fly every day, you're shitting your pants. You can't see what I'm doing. You can't see out the window. Oh, well, in the front of the window. You don't know what the hell's going on. You're like, oh my God, So you come out of the airplane and say, oh, great job, Captain. As if it was hard for me. It wasn't hard for me. It's normal landing. I do this every day. But are you going to see me in a thunderstorm? Low visibility, severe wind shear, all hell's breaking loose, trying to land? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll divert. Go somewhere else where it's nicer. I don't need mental game. I just don't do it. You see? But what Mike is telling you is to go into these conditions, thunderstorms, wind shear, low visibility, all hell's breaking loose, and say, no, be tough, go land, don't divert. And then you end up blowing your account under the brand of MMT and all profits. 40 years experience, and this is the best you can come up with. Buy and keep buying, double down, keep doubling down. You have infinite amount of money. Just keep sitting there betting until one day you're right. Doesn't work. If it did, everybody else would do it. Believe me, it doesn't work.
The great unwinding is upon us, folks. The great unwinding. Remember, like everything else, you heard it here first. Bye. We're still short. All right? 10 big points. He's like, oh no, this is MMT. He say, I'm the expert on MMT, which was basically glorified technical analysis. It wasn't MMT. So, folks, you can get the real McCoy, or you can, kind of play with yourself. I had another guy yesterday or the day before. He sends me an email. Mike, what should I do? I have this losing position because, I don't know, he was short the euro or something like that. Short, maybe it wasn't against the dollar, but he was short the euro against something else. I'm like, I looked him up. The guy had a trial subscription which he canceled like a year and a half ago or something like that. Like, he canceled me. I never would have had you short the euro. He's like, I made a big mistake. I got off your report and I went to some cheapo report that uses stops because I wanted stops. And you know what happened to me? I got destroyed using stops.
Cheapo. Okay, I'll raise mine to 1,000 tomorrow. Okay, so if you guys want it, it's $1,000 tomorrow, and then it's not cheapo anymore.
I got destroyed using stop. I wish I would have
course
stuck
you
with
got
your
destroyed.
report. He's asking me for advice.
Sure.
What should I do with my short euro? What, I just hand out freebies? Come on. I give a lot of freebies on here, but come on. Folks, you can play with yourself. Or, seriously now, you can deem yourself worthy. You could deem yourself as a person who deserves good things, as a person who wants knowledge and understanding,
Yeah, man.
as a person who values himself, as a person who sees an investment in yourself as something good. Or you could play with yourself. You could play with yourself and say, I get the same information for 5%. Yeah. Okay, pal. Okay, right.
That was great. That was good. Play with yourself for 5%. It's less than 5%, brother. And yeah, your inflation call, not too good, huh? How about your recession call? Not too good. Not too good, my man. Not too good. Yeah, 100K down.
No, you don't. I'm sorry. You do not. You do not.
You can
None
get
of you do.
contracts.
Only my
what
people
the contracts are.
We are Navy SEALs. We are SEAL Team 6.
Of course
You hand us your money. We crush you.
Of course.
You give us your money. We don't even,
Sure.
we don't work. I don't work. I sit here. I don't even look at the market, really.
No,
I mean,
not
I'm
at all.
sending out emails
Of course you
many
are.
times during the day to people who subscribe.
Looking at
But,
the
I mean,
market.
the money just comes in without even a thought. Without even a thought.
Yeah, because he scams people. Okay. If you value yourself, you're gonna give him $145. Oh Jesus.
You don't understand how easy it is. I've said it
course.
before. It's so easy that it should be illegal, but it's totally legal.
Yeah.
We're playing with, if you imagine yourself, and I've given the poker analogy before, if you imagine yourself at a poker game where you literally see the hand of every single player at that table. If you don't win every single time, I don't know what's wrong with you. We see the hand of every single, and that includes central banks.
Of course. And that's why he is calling for recessions 3 times. And, inflation is coming. Yeah. Okay, so no stops. If you use stops, you get crushed up. His friend or whatever, his ex-subscriber went over there to beg back to go, so he doesn't use stops. And what should he do with his euro position, right? All right, let's listen to this.
We know how they are going to react. So what this service does is it gets you positioned before
Guessing.
all major economic
You're guessing
data
on
releases
economic
and
data.
policy announcements.
Guessing.
based here in the U.S. and in other countries and their various currencies. It gets you positioned. There are profit objectives in there. Yes, there are even stop losses in there for you stop losers.
So on the one hand, if you're a stop loser, you're a loser, and then he comes out with a subscription service that offers you stops. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? So he's telling you that he's going to guess on every single economic data here and abroad in forex, okay, and he's going to use stop losses, the same stop losses that you are fucked up if you do, and you don't love yourself because you don't give him $145. Okay, this is a con man, people. Okay, he's a con man. He'll tell you anything and present it any way to get you to give him money, no matter what. And that's it. I'm not going to talk much more about it. The guy is a loser. He doesn't understand MMT. He doesn't understand how to apply MMT into the real world and investing. Okay, all he does is just guess, and that's it. He shotguns a whole bunch of stocks, forex pairs, no matter what, anything. Okay, and he says, look, I got 1/3 right by guessing. Let's focus on that. Forget about the other stuff. You need mental game for that. You gotta be tough. Shut the fuck up. You don't love yourself. Okay, just shut up. One day it'll be profitable. You have an endless supply of money. Trading signals. And anyone who's giving you 30-day free trial, okay, they're trying to con you. It's marketing. So if you guys want the real McCoy and none of this bullshit that he's offering, come down to IMMT. It's free. Okay, investing MMT. Like and subscribe. Also, pure MMT for the 100% beyond domains. Don't forget to buy Edward Delzio's The National Debit to really understand the monetary system. And you can, for $5 a month or less than 5% of what he charges, come down to patreon.com/mindthisone, where you have Discord, where you can talk to me online. And you have Facebook Messenger, where we also talk about the markets in real time. Okay, and I can teach you bare knuckle charting. Glorified technical analysis. I can teach you macroeconomics, how it applies into the real world. $5 a month. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.